discovering yourself, would you say?
I mean, it's constantly evolving with me. You know, starting out in this industry, I started off with so many views that I wouldn't, I guess, agree with now. And I think it's more like with the education that I've been given, like I can really learn more things about who I am as a person, what's going on in society today. And it's definitely shaped me differently. And I feel like, yeah, I don't know, the more you read, the more you learn about, has made me grow differently and made me perceive things differently, I guess.
I mean, we're all still growing.
Yeah.
The growth never stops.
Growth never stops, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
For me, like, as much as I change, I'm constantly myself in my way. Like, I don't know, I couldn't really pinpoint one thing I'm consistent at, but I would say I'm always myself, and that's what keeps me consistent.
No matter how old you are, but especially at your age, how difficult has that been for you?
It can be difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, not only just the fact that sometimes it's just being a girl is difficult, but not only that, it's difficult being young. I mean, people can really not take you seriously, especially in this industry. It's very difficult to get your point across, be heard. I'm put in a situation which is, you know, sometimes it's different, as maybe a little bit different than other young people, but it's almost the same situation, you know. I'm being watched by everyone, and basically every move I make is being watched by everyone, but actually it's not that different in any way. I mean, there's teenagers out there that are evolving in themselves, and they have to go to school every day and deal with whatever they're dealing with or whatever they're dealing with at home. And so for me, we all face the same complications. It's how we deal with them and how we react. So, but for me, I would say, like, it's scary for me to express myself at times. But then there are moments where I feel very empowered and I feel, you know, like, really great about myself. Like when I produced Enola Holmes, I got honored that title, you know, honored, not legitimately honored, but felt like I was so honored to have that title as a producer. And I walked onto set and everybody respected me as a person and just like as a co-worker. And I felt really respected, and I felt like we were both treating each other equally, and I felt very empowered by that. I was really moved, and so I feel like those are the moments where I kind of sit there and I appreciate, you know, what it's like to be treated the same.
It's all about bringing a voice to children. How important is that to you?
I want my voice to be heard, and Greta Thunberg wants her voice to be heard, and you know, all these amazing young people. I could think of, you know, of Malala Yousafzai, her voice wants to be heard. Imagine the millions of kids that want to be heard and they can't be because they're silenced, or they are ignored, or they are looked down upon for maybe their age or their gender. Whatever their circumstance is, I like that UNICEF gives them a voice, lets them have a seat at the table, lets them talk about what they're passionate about. It's so important to have these voices, because ultimately it will change the world, and ultimately world leaders will have to listen. We are the next generation. It's going to be us, and we're going to be having to fix the problems that you have created or you haven't helped fix. Ultimately, UNICEF gives a voice to young people, and I think it's so important.
Because sitting here right now, what would you say is the most pressing issue for you and the younger generation today?
I mean, it's where do you really want to start? You know, it's like you can go with the fact that every young person, including girls mostly, deserve to have an education. The fact that social media is still allowing bullies, it's like, how is this still happening? That is in itself, you know, and then you've got climate change, which is literally the biggest issue of all, because without that, no one can have education. Without the world, nobody's going to learn. We need to start taking care of our planet in the best way. We've got some amazing voices out there that are really fighting against this, which I'm in total support of.
What piece of advice is someone giving you that's really shaped you as a person?
My mum, just whatever happens will happen. Like, legitimately, if something's going to happen, you've just got to let it happen. You've got to accept it and let it go. And I've used that in every part of my life, you know, if that's with a friend, if that's with, you know, my work, if that's with something that's going on with me as a person, whatever is happening to me, if I can't help and change it, if I can't, then I have to accept it and let it go. And that's something I've learned, which can be difficult, but ultimately it's good for your soul to just
Oh my gosh, you let things go.
Yeah, you do, you have to.
Because sometimes you just have to do that for your own self-care.
Yeah. It's just like a certain amount of toxic, it gets too much at some point, and you have to realize that every decision you make has to be good for you. And that's what I've learned for sure, which is young.
Yeah, not for anyone else either.
No, I mean, there are certain, like I'm not a people pleaser, but I love to make sure everybody's happy.
Yeah.
And my mum says ultimately you can't make everyone happy, you know? So I feel like that, my mum gives some good advice.
How do you switch off from that, and how do you separate yourself from negativity?
I think I'm constantly switched off from social media. I mean, you know, there's a certain amount of love I have for social media, but I have realized that actually, like, what I post on social media is me. I don't ever want to post anything that doesn't feel like me. So until social media becomes a place that I think is acceptable, which is a positive place to spread love and light and funny memes and like genuine just love and appreciation for everyone. And when certain people are not allowed on social media, then name no names. I will then appreciate social media. But until that becomes a more positive place, less political, more fun, light-hearted, we need to appreciate that actually, like, the stuff that's going on in the world. We need to spread the message. It's very important to spread messages. Social media is a great place to do that, but it becomes so hateful and it becomes so violent and aggressive, and nobody needs that. No young person needs that in their life, especially on their phone that they can just take anywhere they want. So I don't know. I love social media. I love my fans and I love posting funny things, but until it changes a little, that's when I'll appreciate it.
What is your one piece of advice to raising empowered young women? Well, I think letting them be who they want to be. My parents always let me be who I want to be. I'm very outspoken, very loud, very opinionated, and that's why I'm the way I am, really. And people accepted me and some people don't, which is, you know, it's just their situation they have to deal with. But either way, I think to raise someone who's going to be empowering and influential, you have to let them be who they want to be.
To a degree that will not drive you insane, that will help you.
Unfortunately, when I was younger, I was much more carefree and didn't really even think about the fame side of anything.
Right.
I was very much kind of enjoying it.
You were enjoying it. You were a kid.
Yeah.
I mean.
Right. And I'm just like, whoa, fancy dresses. Like, that sounds fun, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas now, as much as I'm very grateful for it, I've struggled with anxiety for a while. I've definitely struggled with the fame aspect more nowadays, just because, like you said, you want to screw up, but there's no screwing up. You can't really put on a mask, you know, because people do see right through it. And so I've done things in the past where I post videos of me upset because it's like, this is who I am and I'm not going to hide it from you because I am a normal girl and I'm figuring everything out myself. So for me, that's kind of my journey. I've struggled with anxiety and I'm learning to cope with it. I meditate, I journal a lot. I take a lot of time for myself. And when I come home from work, I allot like an hour to do something of mine that I really want to do. Like I paint my wall and I decorate my walls. Like it's a kind of a strange thing, but I love doing anything like therapeutic like that. I love spending time with my family. But I think allotting time for yourself is what I've learned is the most important, because you'll find yourself within those moments.
Was that part of the reason that you recently, I believe you left TikTok recently, right? Was that?
Right. Yeah, you know, I really focus on positive environments, and I think that you are a product of your environment. So when you're surrounding yourself with good people, you are going to be a good person. You learn from people, you learn from wise people. I've been lucky enough to share moments with people that are very amazing, like my parents and also people in this industry. And when I was on a social media platform that was generating a lot of hate and shade, I just felt like I didn't want to be part of something that was enjoying that and kind of embracing that. So I had to leave because I felt like it wasn't right of me to advocate for cyberbullying and then be part of something that
I hear you.
that enjoys that.